I had some discussions over the last few days, over the weekend, with some friends and some people I met. I guess we'll call it in the real world, not on the show. And there were a few people who said to me, I'm feeling guilty because as soon as I meet someone who says I voted for President Donald Trump, I'm judging them and I'm feeling guilty because I'm judging them. And I'm here to tell you that it's fair to judge every single person you meet that voted for Donald Trump. And the question is, judge them for what? And I hope if you're going to respond to this segment, you're going to respond to what I actually say and I'm about to say rather than what you think I'm saying, because I may not be saying what you're hearing. So let's really explore this, okay? You can learn a lot about my ideology from my rejecting Donald Trump in the election, right? It's fair to judge me because I rejected and didn't vote for Donald Trump. I don't believe the U.S. is well served by having a buffoonish reality show clown in the highest position of power. You can judge me as thinking that, as believing that based on my vote against Trump. And you can accurately know that I don't respect Donald Trump's style of politics. I can reliably judge every Trump voter as voting for Trump for some combination of the following. And again, I'm about to give you some categories here. Not every single one of these applies to every Trump voter. Number one, yes, they could be genuinely bad people because, and that's why they voted for Donald Trump. They want to see others suffer. This is the minority, right? But that's possible. It's possible. There's people in the alt-right, including, not everybody, but including racists, xenophobes, Islamophobes, etc. If you're someone like that, Trump was definitely your candidate in 2016. We have tons of polling and survey data that confirm that for us. Of course, not all Trump supporters are bigots, but if you're a bigot, you almost definitely voted for Donald Trump in the 2016 election. Number two, some Trump supporters, voters, are a combination of selfish and ignorant in varying proportions, right? Selfish because they think electing Donald Trump will help them specifically. Probably not true unless you're already quite wealthy, as we figured out. Or ignorant because you don't realize that Trump won't help you. You are believing or you've been bamboozled by Trump into thinking that and don't realize it. So that can be a combination, a blend, so to speak, of selfishness and ignorance. Number three, you might actually not be ignorant, right? You understand everything about Donald Trump and you understand the impact that Trump's proposed policies will have on different groups in the population, income groups, minority groups, etc. But you voted for him anyway because you actually have something to gain personally, right? Some kind of quid pro quo, your business will benefit, something like that. And voting for someone solely based on that is something that we can judge as people in the world. You might not even judge it negatively. And this is the key and why I said react to what I'm saying, not to what you're hearing, which is it's fair to judge Trump voters, but the key question is judge them for what? Maybe Trump will drastically decrease taxes on the rich or big corporations, and you're in one of those groups, and that's why you voted for Trump. No ignorance at all. You completely understand what Trump's proposed policy effects would be. And number four, you're not necessarily concerned only about yourself, but you think that Trump would be better for this country than Hillary Clinton would have been, but you don't understand a lot of basic concepts, right? These could be economic concepts, foreign policy, trade. You totally get what Trump is proposing, but you just don't understand many of these concepts, and thus you don't get that the ideas espoused by Donald Trump would be a disaster for the United States if he's able to do everything he says he's going to do. And hopefully, we're all praying here, I'm kind of joking, but we're all hoping here that he's not able to do that. That's probably the least condemnable type of Trump supporter, right? Because you mean well, you really believe, you understand the Trump policies, you get what he's proposing, you like it more than what Hillary Clinton proposed, and that's why you voted. You just don't understand a lot of the broader concepts that would explain to you why these are genuinely bad ideas in many cases. I'm still going to judge you for being a voter that doesn't understand the background and many of these broader issues and didn't engage enough to do your research. But again, these are not ad hominem judgments, so to speak. I would say that in general, you have three types of Trump supporters that fall into that last camp, which is you mean well, you just believe that the Trump policies will genuinely be better for the country than the Clinton policies. Those are traditional Republicans, right? You usually vote Republican in presidential elections. You maybe find Trump to be flawed or even obnoxious. You would have rather seen someone like Ted Cruz or Rubio or Jeb Bush on the Republican ticket, but you're going to vote Republican regardless because you genuinely believe that there is a more benefit to be seen by the country from a Trump presidency. You know this type of person, right? There's a lot of older folks, a lot of people from the South, a lot of blue collar people, people who are just lifelong so-called mainstream Republicans, people who were affected by the sort of maybe Clinton propaganda, et cetera. Okay, then there are those who don't really follow politics too much, but they've seen a lot of the propaganda around how Hillary's crooked, email stuff, maybe Benghazi, et cetera, and you voted Trump not because you love Trump, but because you really fell for the Hillary Clinton is corrupt stuff without realizing that any criticism you could make of Hillary Clinton, you could make 5 or 10-fold about Donald Trump. And this relates to the sort of, I hate to use the term, alternative fact or alternate realities that many Trump supporters are living in. They've really been bamboozled, not in terms of Trump policy, but in terms of who Hillary Clinton was. Very, very common in 2016. These are the types of people where if you ask, why did you vote for Trump specifically? What policies do you like? Instead of listing policies, they say, he tells it like it is. He's not afraid of offending people. He's cutting to the chase. He's not a standard politician. Hillary Clinton, far from a perfect candidate in many ways. I've said it since the beginning of the primary. Baggage, changing of positions, pandering, apparent lack of sincerity. A lot can be said about why Hillary Clinton turned off voters, but she was exponentially more qualified than Donald Trump, exponentially more experienced, far better candidate than Trump in every way. There's nothing you could criticize Hillary Clinton over that you couldn't criticize Trump for way more significantly. So maybe I shouldn't actually, because I share sometimes, I also, when someone says I voted for Trump, I immediately say, well, which one of these categories do you fit in? Because you fit into one of these categories, no doubt. I also sometimes will feel guilty, but then I realize, maybe I really shouldn't feel guilty about it. Look at the disasters that Trump has already committed in the early days of his presidency. Each and every Trump voter is to blame, no matter how they ended up on election day or whatever day it was that they voted, saying, yes, I'm voting for Trump. They are one of those voters that is responsible for what we now have in the White House, the first orange president of the United States. Send me your thoughts on this, and please react to what I actually said, not to what you might have heard, which is I'm insulting Trump supporters or all Trump supporters are bad people, because that's not what I said. If you need to listen to or watch the clip over again before responding, by all means, please do that.